Yeah, I mean, Coach Norvell, he's a winner. And, his resume speaks that. Being at Memphis, I mean, he turned that whole program around. And, uh, he's so driven and passionate. He's always calling me, and I know he's always calling all of his recruits. And, he lives like a champion each and every day. And you can really see it, on the field. And, like I said, in meetings and stuff. And he lives like a champion. It really speaks volumes.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Nan. You're listening to Hear the Spear presented by NoleGameday. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, aka E-Dub, in the house. We're listening to Hear the Spear presented by NoleGameday. Go live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spear. Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spear presented by NoleGameday. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, presented to you by NoleGameday.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. SSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What's happening, guys? This is Logan from Hear the Spear, presented to you by NoleGameday. We are here on Tuesday evening, July 7th. We are going to have a big-time guest on with us later in the show. FSU 2021 four-star quarterback commit Luke Altmyer is here to answer me, Nate, and Dustin's question. We talk about why he committed to Florida State, obviously. We talk about Mike Norvell, Coach Dillingham, guys that he is currently recruiting, trying to bring into Tribe 21, and future guys. Also a little bit of offensive line talk. Guys he's also trying to recruit there. And also the Elite 11 that he just got done competing in. And then to top it off at the end, we talk about what he wants to work and improve on during his senior year that is upcoming for him in a couple months. For the rest of the show, we talk about some of the FSU players that have put on some weight, some guys that have lost some pounds too. Coach Storms is killing it this offseason. Also going to give our thoughts on the Patrick Mahomes contract. We're also going to go over the 247 Sports preseason ACC poll that was just released. And then we're going to end it off with some FSU trivia, some bad dad jokes. Austin is also going to run through a little bit of basketball updates. But I think that's going to be it. As always, you can listen to this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, also YouTube. Subscribe on all those platforms so you'll be notified every time we go live. With me this evening is the usual cats, Dustin Lewis, our lead writer and editor, along with Austin Beasy, our lead basketball writer. What's happening this evening, guys?
I feel like I'm listening to NPR right now.
Dude, I think I just killed it. I'll be honest. I gotta give like a pat on the back to myself. I think that was the first time it's gone that smoothly for me in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you weren't talking too loud or anything.
I think I'm on a roll. I think I might need to get a job working in like the Storage Wars and being like the auctioneer. I think my voice was pretty clean doing that and pretty quick.
What do you think about his voice, Austin? Oh.
No chance.
Alrighty, Austin doesn't see a future for me in Storage Wars, so there goes that. I should pull my application then.
There's not much of a future for anyone in Storage Wars, bud.
In the Storage Wars? We couldn't hear you there, buddy. What'd you say?
There's not much of a future for anyone in Storage Wars.
You're very accurate on that one right there. I'll give you that. Is it bad? I mean, can I just say that my aunt was an auctioneer in that show, though? A lot of people probably don't know that, but she was actually a decent star on that show. Like, we're on A&E or whatever. She was the auctioneer. So maybe that's who I get it from.
I don't know if you're being serious or not.
I'm being completely serious. Out in LA, I'm being completely serious. So yeah, that's a fun fact for me.
Well, you've got connections.
Thank you, Dustin. I want to state in here real quick before we get started too. I saw a review on our Apple podcast, which definitely appreciate you guys. If you guys would like to, definitely the 5 stars help, along with leaving reviews. It helps, and this is why it's going to help too. I've got a I guess a complaint, but there was some audio issues, and I believe the last episode, I think that's going to be fixed up. Editing different audio intervals with phones and then also Skype, it can mess around a little bit, but I think we're going to invest, at least on my end, invest in a new mic and everything, so maybe some things will be a little bit smoother, because trust me, I get pissed off at the freaking audio problems sometimes, so hopefully things will be smoothed out. So definitely appreciate the person who put the 5-star review on there and also left that review letting us know, because that was something that we need to change. Can't be annoying people while in the car, right, Dustin?
I mean, Logan, that's normally what you do on this podcast.
I just annoy people.
I know it's what you excel at.
Jeez, Austin comes out of nowhere.
Second thing he said all podcast.
Yeah.
Probably all that it will be. Now, there's a little bit of basketball in there, and he likes a little bit of NFL, so there might be a few things. He's not going to talk, though, when I talk about weight gains, but that's Austin.
I'll roll my eyes. That's it. That's all you'll get from me.
I know you will. Well, let's jump right into it, and then we'll get Luke on here in just a few minutes after our top 3 worst segment, which this week is going to be top 3 worst pizza toppings, so it could get pretty interesting. Patrick Mahomes, money. Biggest sports contract in history, over $500 million, over half, and it could be worth up to $503 million, but the deal is worth $450 over the 10-year period. The extension includes a $140 million injury guarantee, as well as a no trade clause. Man, oh man. So I'm a Steelers fan, and obviously this is a Florida State podcast, but man, when things like this happen, and if you just like football, either way, I mean, this is just nuts, or sports even. A potential $500 million contract for a quarterback. And I'm a Steelers fan, and I've had to deal with Patrick Mahomes a few times, and it's not that fun. But man, oh man, what are y'all's initial thoughts on this signing? This is gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, just
that's really all it is. He brought Kansas City a Super Bowl, and he's still 23. He's the best quarterback in the NFL already. Won an MVP, won a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, he's worth it if he's willing to stay there that long. Yeah.
Just a wild deal. I mean, imagine having your next 11 years locked into the job you're at. I mean, I would love if it paid those wages, though.
Meanwhile, Dustin, do you have a job right now?
I'm in the market. I think a lot of us are.
I was before today, but now you are the only one on the podcast, so we got to get you back going on LinkedIn or something.
I've applied for a lot of jobs. I'm just, useless.
Useless?
Pretty much.
I won't say anything more to that. I will not say anything more to that. But yeah, that contract is gigantic, man. I do think he's worth a lot of money. Obviously, I hate seeing like people tagging like Deshaun Watson, whatever. Is it just me, or do I think that there's no way in hell? Like some people are saying that, oh, wait till you see Deshaun Watson's. I'm like, sorry, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know what drugs they're on, like the teammates and whatever, like hyping it up. Like, I don't know. I don't get the whole. I mean, I understand Deshaun Watson, this and that, but I don't see that happening.
This is how that conversation will go. Deshaun Watson is going to walk into Bill O'Brien's office. He's going to be like, look, I want more money than Patrick Mahomes has got. And then Bill O'Brien's going to trade him for a 6th-round draft pick the next day.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, like, for Watson if the per year is the same, but it's only like a 4 or 5 year contract. Yeah, he's not getting 10. I doubt he wants to be there for 10 years. It's Houston.
Yeah.
And who are Bill O'Brien?
Yeah. Who are the top 3 NFL quarterbacks right now? Just
Russell Wilson, Mahomes.
Jameis Winston, Christian Ponder,
Kirk Cousins.
He's coming back out of retirement.
E.J. Manuel's coming back too.
Charlie Ward said to make his NFL debut.
Who else? Who else are we missing? JJ Constantino's getting in there, right?
Right after Sean McGuire.
Oh yeah, Sean McGuire's got a big training camp ahead of him, doesn't he? Right? Oh man, is Marcus Mariota still playing football, or is he like off in Hawaii, like
He's with the
putting
Raiders.
flowers on
There,
people's head
he's
or
not really
something?
playing, but he's there.
He's with the Raiders.
Yeah.
That's good. Good for him. Has he ever cussed, do you think?
I don't think he's ever talked.
Yeah, has he like even chirped a word or like moved his face? Because whenever I like look at his face, like I feel like nothing moves. Like, does he open his mouth to breathe? I don't know. Just doesn't that. Marcus Mariota just irritates me. And he's having to compete with what's his name over there in Oakland?
Yeah, Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Yeah. What a fun quarterback room that is.
I know Las Vegas fans are excited.
Yeah.
Great first year in the new city.
Yeah, and the new stadium too. And on your sideline, Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota. And Marcus Mariota is still not smiling. Jesus Christ, feel bad for them. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Pretty big contract there, and Dustin just named all the Florida State quarterbacks that are better than, I guess, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I guess so. Jameis Winston. But Jameis Winston up there. You want to talk some weight gains for some FSU players, Austin? Or do you want to leave that to me?
Absolutely not.
You don't want to? You sure?
I'm good.
No. Okay. I'll just handle it on my own. How about that?
Lead us off.
I'll lead us off, Dustin. I think Dustin likes these, so we'll tag team it. It was released, the new roster update. A few guys, not everyone has been updated, but Florida State players and their weights and sometimes their heights have been updated. Starting off first, then this is obviously starts off huge. Shout out to Coach Storms for all this, but FSU running back Jashawn Corbin, obviously your Texas A&M running back transfer, he's up to 213, or he's up from 213 to 220, so he's put on 7 pounds. Does that give you any kind of worry at all, Dustin, or is that you're kind of cool with that? Do you think that's kind of heavy for him, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, we'll see how he looks at the start of the season. Obviously, he's coming off that hamstring injury, so we'll see if maybe the extra weight slows him down at all. But I think it could be good for him as a power back to be able to get through more tackles.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are kind of like worried about it a little bit. I wouldn't be. Definitely once fall or even the summer workouts begin, but definitely fall. I think some of these guys are going to shed some pounds either way.
I mean, when you've got middle linebackers at 250, it's not bad to have, a 220-pound running back on the roster every now and then.
Well, not at FSU, 250. Maybe it's getting there. Coach Storms is doing his thing, but we haven't seen one of those since what? Maybe Nick Moody, Christian Jones, maybe. Remember, your biggest one was Dontavius Jackson. And what was Dontavius Jackson, Dustin? 230,
325?
230 something, yeah.
What did you say, Austin? 335?
Yeah, he played that slow.
Austin's not saying much tonight, but when he does say something, it's worth listening to.
See, Austin, I knew this segment would work for you. Look at this. You're going to be put out on – you're going to go viral. You're going to go viral.
I doubt it.
All right, so next, freshman FSU quarterback Chubba Purdy. He comes into Florida State listed as 212 pounds. I think that's a pretty good size for him. Dustin, obviously you look back and everybody's going to compare him to James Blackman. And James Blackman is, from what I've been told, is over 205 pounds. So he obviously still has more weight over James Blackman. But that's a pretty good size weight right there, Dustin. What do we got?
I mean, yeah, definitely for a true freshman. And I mean, you got to think Chubba Purdy and James Blackman have completely different frames. James Blackman, obviously still a very slim guy, but where Chuba Purdy's at, he carries that weight very well, and I mean, he can still add on to that. So he's only a true freshman. Like you said, James Blackman now up to over 200 pounds. So a couple years in Storm's strength and conditioning program, we'll see what happens. I think he can turn quarterbacks into monsters too.
Florida State defensive end. Didn't get to see him play a lot last year, but I'm really eager to keep my eyes on him once fall camp starts because he's been putting a lot of work on his body. Defensive end Quashawn Fuller has gained 10 pounds and is now at 275. He's kind of been fluctuating, so he came in a little bit heavier than that. He lost a lot of weight. Now he's putting on good muscle weight. And I'm actually, that defensive end room still has a little bit of work to do depth-wise, and I'd like to see him kind of get in there in that mix. And I think he's really worked on his body really well. And I think Coach Storms and company have put him in a good plan that's going to set him up for a nice run this upcoming season.
Yeah, like you said, he's looking good, and there's not a ton of depth at defensive end for Florida State this season. So some guys are going to have to emerge, and he's a former 4-star prospect. It could be his time. I mean, last year, like you said, he had some bad weight, trimmed it off, and now he's built back up with some more muscle. And I mean, he could be a guy that's primed to break out.
Mm-hmm. Man, I feel like football's in there. Even though this pandemic thing is coming, man, we're getting weight talk here. We're getting close to fall camp. It feels so good. I just need this thing. I need people to wear their masks. I need to be in Doak Campbell Stadium. I need to be in Atlanta. I need things to start hitting here because I'm excited about seeing these guys out on the field. This one right here, I think a lot of Florida State fans are stoked about. True freshman linebacker. This might be the most impressive one. True freshman linebacker Steven Dix Jr. came into FSU at 210 pounds. As of this update from last week, he is now at 235. He has made an impressive 25-pound gain in a very short time period under Coach Storms and company. And when I say company, too, a lot of these guys that Coach Storm and Norvell have brought on staff are some big cats. Obviously, guy from Ole Miss that they brought, and the Stanford strength and conditioning coach, assistant coach. There's another cat, too, that they just brought in. These are some big cats that are making these guys bigger. But how about this one? 210 to 235, Dustin. This is scary. And I got an image here on Twitter. If you haven't seen it yet, I tweeted it. That is lean muscle. That isn't just fat. That is lean, good muscle. What about this, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I mean, 25 pounds since January. And you look at some of the other true freshman linebackers that weren't early enrollees. Jayon McCluster, 6'1", 227 pounds, and then DJ Lundy, guy who Nate really loves, 6'1", 244 pounds. That's the guy I was talking about when I'm saying you have middle linebackers that are 250 pounds. That guy's going to be big.
Yeah, that's going to be a big cat. And hasn't there been a little bit of talk of maybe him going to a kind of like a fullback route too at some occasions?
Yeah, he played running back in high school, and he was very successful. So we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, Norvell, a very innovative offensive mind, and he'll put guys in positions to make plays. And if DJ Lundy can make a couple plays at fullback, he'll get a couple snaps.
I'll run through these two real quick. FSU defensive end Joshua Kando, obviously veteran there. He's up to 265 from 258. He's always had a good size frame on him. Obviously coming back from a leg injury that kept him out of the season very early on against Virginia. But that's a pretty good size too on him. Up next, freshman defensive end TJ Davis has gained 20 pounds and is now at 270. And then a big time guy here, veteran, your star defensive player for Florida State this upcoming season once again. Defensive tackle Marvin Wilson has lost some more weight. He's lost 5 more pounds and is down to 305. And I put in here in this tweet, it's a good reminder that he came into Florida State at 330. So he's now to 305 from 330 from his freshman year.
And I'd say he looks bigger than he was when he was a true freshman because all that weight has transformed into muscle.
Yeah, no, he's definitely fixed a lot of his torso up, and he might have put a lot more strength down in his legs because he's always had that upper body look. But what's crazy, and we've talked about it before too, Dustin, Marvin Wilson has always, since freshman year, he was at that weight, but he was still the friggin' fastest defensive lineman. So now looking at him coming in at 305 this upcoming season, a potential to just weigh a little bit over 300, that speed is scary to think of.
More speed, more athleticism. It'll be a good year for Marvin.
Yeah, it should be. Time to get paid. So yeah, those are some of the updates there. Not the whole team as a whole, but we've heard some things about Keyshawn Helton, who looks fantastic right now. James Blackman's been putting on some weight too. These guys have Coach Storms is doing a fantastic job, and it's like I said, it's not just he brought a good staff around him too. Some very well respected assistants have come here to Tallahassee, and it seems like they're doing really good. And also, Coach Storms revealed some new equipment that they received. They've been receiving new equipment the last month or so, but the new bars that they got, I think you saw them too, Dustin. Those bars look pretty badass. They look like they're a little bit more look like they're good on your body and a little bit safer for like front squats, deep squats. I saw. They're kind of like curved bars definitely for squatting. I say we go in there and get a couple reps. I think Coach Storm should see if he can transform us into like at least like a one series kind of football player.
Might take a little bit.
Yeah, might take a couple of weeks. I was going to ask Jacoby McDaniel if he could give us like an hour to work out with him, Dustin, and we could give our thoughts on it on a podcast. The next episode, like we could, say, hey, we're going to go work out with Jacoby McDaniel, because if you don't follow him on Twitter, he's been working out a ton and whatnot, and he's lost a ton of weight and he's built it into muscle now. I was going to say, Dustin, me and you just go work out with him and give him an hour and see what we got.
I mean, it's worth a shot. Why not?
you want to take that
I can't
challenge?
tell if you're being serious. Yeah, I'll do it.
I've been thinking about it. Might have to hit him up. I'm ready, Dustin. I'm ready to get after it.
Ready too.
I don't know if you really are, though.
Been working out with some cinder blocks.
I want you to get up before 4 p.m.
Yeah, I got up at 11:30 today, so we're making progress.
That's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. All right, so you guys ready for the top 3 worst segment before we get Luke on here?
Are you ready, Austin?
No, I'm not, actually. Hold on. Go ahead. We're good.
Unbelievable. Okay, good. All right, so top 3 worst pizza toppings. Top 3 worst. At first, I didn't think I had any because I really like any kind of like food, and definitely when it's on pizza. But I remembered really about a few minutes later that, wow, there's some really disgusting things that people have tried doing with me, and I hate it. They've tried putting some complete crap on my pizza. So, Dustin, do you want to start off first, or do you want me to start off first, or Austin?
However you want to do it, man.
I'll go first. Black olives. Get them off my friggin' pizza. Get the black olives off. I don't want that on there. Yes, thank you. I don't want them on there. I don't know why they ruin the taste of like your pizza, like the sauce on there and everything. I don't know how people eat them by themselves anyways. I think they need to be tested. I think they're animals. It's disgusting. And I definitely don't want it to ruin a really good pizza, because you can go out there and some people are, out there, putting some good money towards a good pizza, and then they slap on black olives, and I just don't understand. I will not put on a salad.
What about a sub?
I don't really want it on a sub either. Like that sometimes will ruin my taste. Like unless you're putting sub sauce on it, like I will eat it. It's not. I'm not saying I will throw up, but it's just kind of it's the thing that it's going to ruin the taste of it. I'm not gonna throw up, but it's just gonna ruin it. It just like I am already thinking about it, and I just have bad memories, I guess. Just shouldn't be put on pizzas.
I've
Any
got
comments?
no worry with that pick.
I don't think anyone will, honestly.
Okay.
It's a pretty easy pick.
Okay, good. All right, number 2, who's up?
I'll go next. I feel like this is another pretty easy choice. Anchovies.
Ugh.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't.
Just the name.
Yeah.
Just the
The
name.
name is already making my stomach twirl.
I mean, do they even cook them or do they just throw them on there?
It looks like they just throw them on there.
That's
Is
Every
it
time
fish? Is it
Every
fish?
time I think anchovies, I
Yeah,
think of the
yeah.
SpongeBob episode where they just 1,000 of them go into the Krusty Krab. I don't know. It turns me off.
Anchovies are fish. It's like pretty much a whole fish, Logan. They just toss the whole fish on there, but it's small enough where you can just eat the whole fish. Which
Yeah,
is
like I've
kinda
heard of it obviously,
scary.
but like I'm looking at
Looking at a picture of it right now, it looks like there's just worms on a pizza.
It looks like beetles are on the pizza to me. Ew. It does look like worms.
Just look nasty.
It looks like my toilet after a couple hours after Whataburger.
All right.
I don't know why you had to. All right.
Not necessary at all.
Ew, I'm looking at it now too. I mean, I like fish, but it looks like it's the cheapest fish you could ever get, like that's put on your pizza.
Bro, if you get anchovies from Papa John's, there's something wrong with you.
Like, where do you think they're getting those anchovies from? Like,
if you start
fish
putting
tank?
that order in, you need to look in a mirror and reevaluate what's going on.
Yeah, they're definitely grabbing it from a fish tank in the back, right?
They're just like under a floorboard.
Oh, that's disgusting. I'm looking at them now, like I've seen worse and worse pictures, and I'm about to vomit it up right now. I'm about to toss. I'm gonna have to stop. All right, Dustin, you're up next.
I don't know if this one is as cut and dry as your picks were, but I'm gonna say tomatoes. Just because.
Oh, come on.
I don't disagree.
Just because like tomatoes aren't even really good when they're not cooked, and then you put them on the pizza and they're all soft and mushy, and you've got tomato sauce. I mean, what do you need a damn tomato for?
Come on now.
And
They're not
I'm
that
one
bad.
of I'm one of those that gets light sauce on the pizza. Like if I go to Blaze.
Yeah. I mean, tomatoes and tomato sauce is just too much. And it doesn't matter if it's a regular tomato or they try and do that bullshit sun-dried tomato. Get out of here.
What, like the grape tomatoes, something like that?
Just the trash tomato, dude. It's all trash.
Like I'll take like a sliver of tomato on there, like a roasted tomato. I don't know. I don't think it's terrible.
Maybe like a sliver, but if they cut them in like halves and throw them on there, that's way too much.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now. Yeah, definitely if they're like putting like a half tomato, we're talking a juicy half tomato. Like the slivers are kind of like fun. Like what about like a sub, like sub tomatoes?
I don't get tomatoes on my stuff.
Okay, well you know it. Like I'm talking about slices. You don't get.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah, I don't want to slice a tomato on my pizza either.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's the most like.
If there's some tomato chunks in the sauce, I can deal with it. But if there's a whole ass tomato on there, we got a problem.
Oh my. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm like 50-50 on it, so I can't argue with it too much. I think you have number 2, right? Yeah, you're relaying it back.
All right. I'll set a couple I was thinking. So I'll say like, I don't want to say all bacon on pizza.
Whoa.
But the really cheap bacon.
What? How would you even know?
Dude, when they put bacon bits on your pizza that you know is not real bacon.
What?
It's not the same. It's just
What is
pink. It's just pink crumbles that are disgusting.
That's like in frozen pizzas.
Oh, bro, that's Papa John's, Domino's, Pizza Hut. That's what they use.
Domino's bacon is trash.
Nasty.
I will say that. Pizza
But
Hut.
if you go to a homemade joint and they put real bacon on there, I can rock with it. But if you get that fake stuff,
Yeah, I mean, bacon on pizza is good.
That ain't bacon though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, you picked bacon, so this is your fault. This is your fault for going to those places.
That's why that's why I don't order bacon. That's why it's one of my worst pizza toppings.
I'm looking at an article right here, and it says nothing can ruin a pizza faster than black olives. Ranked the worst topping you can put on a pizza. Ew. Wow. Okay. I guess Austin's up next.
Yeah, I'm going barbecue sauce. I like barbecue sauce. I just don't like it on pizza.
Yeah. I agree. I'm right there with you. That is disgusting.
And a lot of people
get number one.
Yeah, a lot of people get it, like the drizzle on it, especially at like Blaze Pizza.
Yeah, Blaze.
But I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, I don't.
It doesn't taste right.
Yeah.
It
just something about it doesn't feel right.
Kind of tastes like I'm eating something that I would have made when I was like 6 years old on accident. Like that shouldn't be on there. Like I always say, if you have any problems with us with our picks, dude, please tweet us so we can handle you on Twitter.
These are like the least controversial picks we've had so far. We're not having any arguments.
Yeah, nobody's arguing with us, so I feel like we're like the smartest people. Like everybody gets along with us, so nobody's even came after us once. So I feel pretty.
Nah, but we're not even coming after each other over these picks like we normally do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Are you ready for mine? My second one?
I guess. Screw it up here. You ready for it?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yep. Here we go. Take the friggin' pineapples off right now. Get it off.
I knew someone was going to say it.
Get the shit off of your pizza right now. Stop thinking that it's good. Why do you do that? Why are you putting that on there? Let's stop it. Stop it right now. That is, I mean, I'll eat it because I like a majority of food, but I don't want something sweet like fruity on a pizza. That just doesn't make sense to me. I've never understood that. I'll never dip ranch and pineapple together. I mean, that's just disgusting thinking about it. I just got really nauseous. But just get them off because I'm going to take them off either way, and I really don't want to spend after all the pizza, I don't want to spend like 5 minutes taking it off every time.
Even if you take it off, the flavor's still there. It's ruined.
Yeah, it just sits there and everything, and it's nasty. It's just fruity. No one wants a fruity pizza. It's disgusting. My last one is going to be mushrooms.
I was going to say that. No.
Yep.
Wow, look how in agreement we are, though.
Yeah, this is the first time we've really had a pretty good agreement tonight.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
You took pineapples and mushrooms from me back to back.
That's why I went first, so I'd have two. Like, I'd have back-to-backs at the end.
The funny thing about the mushrooms is, like, I think we're all looking at the same site where it ranks classic pizza toppings. And the sense is they're number 2 on the best pizza toppings, and it says they add a really nice earthy flavor. Why would dirt be a nice flavor? I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's actually a terrible take. This site needs to be taken down. I'm actually going to report them. No one wants to have the taste of dirt. That's actually what it does taste like, though, when you're having mushrooms on it. Yeah. It does taste like you're eating grass. Like you're eating grass, and like there's always like that little like mushy part that you end up just having to just swallow just immediately so you don't have to keep chewing it. Like, I don't want to have that happen. Like, I don't know. And sometimes when they're cut up on your pizza too, like it's almost like the full thing is on there. So you're just sitting there gnawing on, like, seems to be just like someone's insides that you're eating.
I mean, that's a phrase.
I don't know how we got there.
No, I'm talking about like someone's organs you're eating.
I get it. Don't know how we went from mushrooms to cannibalism.
That's pretty much what it is. So y'all better find your last ones, boys.
Yeah, Dustin, do you have one since Logan just stole mine?
Dustin probably has one. He just laughed.
Thinking about just saying pepperoni.
Do what?
Thinking
That'd
about
be a
just
bold
saying
choice.
pepperoni.
No,
Bold
you're
choice.
not. No, you're not.
I'll just say onions.
That was
That's
God,
a
stop.
terrible take. That's a terrible take. Onions are supposed to be on pizzas.
Stop. No.
Yes, they
No,
are.
they're not.
I'm
It's
not I'm not a
Italian.
fan of the white onion. I don't know what it is. The white onions just don't taste very good to me.
They are supposed to be on there, and they do taste good. It's Italian. They're supposed to have that extra little flavor
I'm
in
not,
there.
but that's everyone has. That's why this is my top 3 worst. I don't really care about your opinion.
Well, I'm just telling you, that was ignorant. You know what else?
Austin's
Go
lost
ahead.
again.
I know Austin's just losing it. He must.
Just
There's
the
been a-
picture I'm looking at, there's way too many onions on here. You see this picture, Logan? Number 6.
Number 6. Let's see.
Would you have that many onions on your pizza? There's more onions than cheese.
That's stupid. That thing doesn't even look cooked. That doesn't even look like a pizza. It looks like that pizza looks terrible. Doesn't it
I want
not?
to say that's before they put it in, but
Yeah, I don't know. You want to hope so, but it looks pretty crusty.
yeah, the cheese
It
looks a little suspect.
That looks like, I don't know. That just looks god awful. It looks worse than like a Lunchable pizza that you get from Walmart that you put together when you're a little kid. This looks about exactly, if not worse. But yeah, I'm not putting that many onions on there, Jesus Christ, but just a little bit here and there. And it needs to be cooked and, I don't know, deep in the sauce. Austin, are you
Take us
here with us?
home.
Yeah, I've got my last one. I don't know if it counts as a classic one. But I feel like since we put ranch on our pizzas, I feel like that's kind of normal. Blue cheese. Blue cheese is trash in any form, but especially on pizza.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're kind of just going off of a sauce here. That needs to be another
I mean, blue cheese I feel like goes on pizza more than you dip it in. That's just my opinion.
Maybe I don't know. What do you think, Dustin?
I mean, it's more of like I would say you dip pizza into cheese. I guess. I mean, I don't, but
I certainly don't. Blue cheese shouldn't even be a thing. It's moldy ranch.
That's along the same lines as like people that replace marinara sauce on pizza with like Alfredo sauce or something. Like, bro, it's pizza. Get some red sauce. Shut up.
Is that what you tell people at Blaze Pizza when they're putting their pizza together?
Oh, I just smack them.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Another thing that shouldn't be on pizza, just for extra stuff here, chicken. Take it off. Get off right now.
I don't mind it.
Like for a classic.
I don't mind it.
I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't really want all the chunky chicken on there. I mean, I've done it before, I will admit it, but I've just found that I'd rather have pepperoni over chicken. Yes.
I get both.
I know you do.
Well, if I go to Blaze, I'll get pepperoni and then I'll get chicken too for extra protein.
Is that what you call it?
That's what I call it. No barbecue sauce though.
No barbecue sauce? Hell no. Hell no. And you know what? I'll be honest. Another bad pizza topping. I don't know. This might be a hot take for you guys. I don't know. I doubt it. Ham.
No, that's not a hot take.
That'd be the last kind of meat I'd put on my pizza. Anchovies, of course, but ham just doesn't go well on pizza. Sorry. Like definitely when it's like crusted and it's chewy. Like what they do is they put ham with pineapple too.
Yeah.
Austin likes it, I guess.
I do like a little bit of ham on my pizza. I'm not gonna lie.
I knew it. Are you meaning Coach ham or ham?
I'm not putting Coach ham on my
Back
pizza.
to the cannibalism.
That's not what we're doing.
I had to make sure you are the basketball guy here.
Yeah, no, understandably, but
Yeah?
no.
I should bring it up. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any kind of toppings that you think that you agree or disagree with, please tweet us at Hear the Spears so you can give us your take, and then we can roast you on the next podcast if you don't agree with us. But if anybody tweets us and say they like anchovies on their pizza,
We're going to kindly ask you to unfollow us.
we're also going to get you to a mental health officer. All right, so that's pretty much it for that segment of top 3 worst. I say we go ahead and jump now into the Luke Altmyer interview. Great interview. I think you guys will enjoy it. Your 2021 leader there. He talks about his commitment to Florida State, Mike Norvell, and a whole load of other things. Let's go and jump to that right now. All right, guys, we got a big guest here with us, another recruit, our second recruit. I think we're going to come after Nate's podcast and just start stealing recruits from him in the interviews. Big time thanks to Nate here for hooking this one up. We have FSU 2021 4-star quarterback commit to Florida State, Luke Altmyer, with us this evening on Tuesday. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing awesome. Definitely appreciate you coming on here to talk a little bit of FSU, your commitment, Elite 11, a lot of stuff that we have here ready for you. So I said we jump right in if you're good to go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. So you recently just participated in the Elite 11. First of all, congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Great achievement.
Thank you.
What was the experience like for you? Because I know a lot of those guys are very competitive, but what was your mindset going into it? What was your experience like? And was it a little bit different, with the whole COVID thing going on, competitive-wise between some of the guys? Was it a little bit switched up differently and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get the full experience a normal quarterback would get, but obviously because of the coronavirus and things like that. But it was super cool to be a part of it, just to be a part of those names and be a part of that quarterback fraternity. I mean, so many things that you do at the camp that are off the field that you really take away from, and obviously the on the field stuff is second to none. So many great coaches, and I was so impressed by the the quarterbacks there and how great of people they were.
What is Trent Dilfer like? Did you have some time to speak with him a little bit one-on-one, if any?
Yeah, a little bit. He's so cool. He's such a good guy. I mean, he's trained a lot of good quarterbacks. He just got done training Tua for his draft prep, and just being around him and all the things he knows being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Had a little bit of one-on-one time. We didn't have a lot of time as a normal Elite 11 quarterback would have each year, but I mean, it's just super cool, and it flew by. It really did.
Yeah, you talked about last night about you being the second guy from Mississippi to be in the Elite 11. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, growing up, always watching those documentaries. Miles Brennan being the only Mississippi quarterback to even be taken by Elite 11, and being the second one, I mean, out of Mississippi is pretty incredible. I never saw myself here. I mean, I always thought I was going to be a baseball player, something else. In middle school, I didn't even start as a quarterback, and I always dreamed about it, and just being a part of that, being from where I am, it's pretty cool, and just being an inspiration to any kids from Mississippi. Just letting them know that you can be a part of the biggest things and be on the biggest stage.
So, when you look at, take us back to February, when you made your decision, what did Coach Norvell do differently that kind of led you to go ahead and commit to Florida State?
It was nothing he did differently. I mean, we've had such a great relationship, for these 4 years of my high school career. I mean, I met him first when I was a freshman, and I always stayed in contact, even, when he was at Memphis, my sophomore and junior year. And when he got to Florida State, it was only a matter of time before I got to go see him again. And, he's always been the same guy. He's amazing. He's so energetic, so young, so passionate about what he does. You can see it in the way he coaches and in the meetings. Just being in there for 15 minutes. I mean, it's something that I wanted to be a part of.
I want to ask you, Luke, and getting into your recruitment and stuff, and obviously Florida State, what were some teams and maybe coaches that were really recruiting you hard early on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mike Norvell, he was the first one to pull the trigger on me, give me a chance. Ole Miss was the second, and they've always been pretty hard on me. Matt Luke and Rich Rodriguez, he's not there anymore, but their new OC and Lane Kiffin, they've been pretty good to me, and I'm grateful for that. But Mississippi State obviously came into play around my sophomore year, the end of my sophomore year. Coach Joe Moorhead, I still keep in touch with him. I'm really good friends with his son. I used to go over to his house a lot because me and him were good friends. But yeah, he's a great guy. I've always loved Coach Moorhead. I hope nothing but the best for him. But those are obviously the home states recruited me hard. But LSU, they're pretty big. Coach Isminger, Coach Munoz, who's now at Baylor as a wide receiver coach. I grew pretty good relationships with them, and a lot of good teams.
Yeah, and speaking about Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham, what are your thoughts on them and the other coaches on Florida State staff that you've got a chance to speak with so far?
They are passionate. They're so passionate about what they do. They're young. They're super fun to be around. I haven't been around another staff where I just enjoy being around, honestly, and I can't wait. I mean, I'll just enjoy all. I feel like I can enjoy every single day, every single minute, just being around those guys.
Is it like a comfortable kind of feeling?
Yeah,
just being able to hang out with them.
Just like a friendly feeling.
And do you feel that kind of like with the whole staff as general too? Because I'm sure you've spent time with all of a majority of them too, and along with players too. But you kind of get that family feel that you would feel at home right now.
Yeah, they go out of their way. I mean, it's genuine. They make you feel at home, like you said. They're so young and ready to win.
So, talk about your kind of background with Norvell's offense, and you being familiar with it, and kind of how that maybe played a role in your decision, and kind of how you fit in the offense.
Yeah, obviously, Coach Norvell does a lot of run-pass options, RPOs, and my high school coach. I mean, that's pretty much all we do, really. I mean, obviously, we have the drop-back schemes and the run game stuff. But my high school coach, he loves Coach Norvell, and even stolen a lot of play names and a lot of RPO stuff from him. And I've been doing that for 4 years, and I've pretty much learned a lot about him, and that's all I've really been around. And being able to be a part going forward of that kind of game, I feel like I've fit perfectly in it.
Yeah, obviously,
go ahead. Now I was going to follow up the question that I wanted to ask before, and kind of I talked a little bit about some people questioning your athleticism. I'm going to ask that now, about how you don't run the ball necessarily. You don't put up a lot of rushing yards, but yet your offense doesn't really ask you to do that. And some of these national experts and evaluators kind of ding you on your perceived lack of athleticism. Can you talk about that a little bit and your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just recently ran a 4.71 on laser at the Under Armour camp. Pretty much in my scheme, they want me protected. They want me to distribute the ball and to our playmakers. We had a lot of good playmakers this past year, and I have a running back who's committed to Mississippi State, who's pretty good. But we run a lot of inside zone, outside zone, where we'll read a guy and I can pull it and run it. And I do that sometimes, but I haven't had a lot of opportunities to just flash my run game, I guess. But my athleticism is there. I believe in it.
You were talking about playmakers too, Luke, and is that something that Dillingham and Mike Norvell have talked with you, that they want to put playmakers around you? Because that's what we heard during their introductory press conferences. Dillingham couldn't stop talking about, he's had success with playmakers, and he wants to bring playmakers to FSU. The logo hits different here, and you usually have some luck on bringing some talent in, but I'm sure they've probably stressed to you that they want to put some playmakers around so you can, make your job a little bit easier and just toss it to them, let them go down the field.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, playmakers are, what kind of drive this game, and Florida State, Coach Norvell's offense. I mean, you got to have them.
Obviously, Florida State has gone 18-20 over the past 3 seasons, and we'll see what Mike Norvell does during his first year in Tallahassee. But what do you think it will take to bring Florida State back to prominence once you arrive on campus?
I mean, I think just doing everything like a champion, having a championship mindset and living at a championship standard like Florida State once has. Florida State is a winning program. I fully believe Coach Norvell is the right guy to lead the ship back in the right direction.
What is it that you think that you need to do, or your role, in order to kind of expedite that process?
Yeah, I got to recruit. I got to get out there, reach out to guys, sell my pitch to them, and work my tail off on Twitter, I guess, in the DMs.
Is that? I mean, a lot of FSU fans are crazy. If you haven't found out yet, they're absolutely crazy. And when it comes to recruiting, it is a different animal in Tallahassee. You probably already know this, but is that how it goes? Because I'm sure a lot of fans would like to know. Is it just mainly Twitter DMs, IG DMs? Is that what's going on here? Is there any group chats and texting? Like, what's the thing? Is FaceTime calls? What are we doing?
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of. Yeah, I mean, kind of. First reaching out to an athlete is usually on Twitter. A lot of athletes usually their main social media is Twitter. But you'll get a phone number and then you'll reach out to them through a text message, keep reaching out, or even phone calls.
That's a good segue into today. FSU was able to get Tristan Lee, a 5-star offensive tackle, on campus today. And it looks like that Amarius Mims, who's, one of the top 1 to 2 tackles in the country, is going to come later this week. So, as a quarterback, you got to be happy to see that. But talk a little bit about your thoughts on getting those guys on campus.
Yeah,
are those 2 guys that you talk to?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. Those guys are the best at what they do in this class, and to be able to have a chance at them and hopefully get them is pretty remarkable. And I've been working my tail off trying to get them for sure. And I think being on campus is huge. But I think Coach Norvell, Coach Atkins, Coach Dillingham, they do a really good job of making those guys feel really loved.
And I was just on a show just about an hour ago talking about Alex Atkins. But give me your thoughts. I mean, you're in the quarterback department, and you want to be protected. And Florida State's had a tough last, not just a couple of years, but about a good stint now of some decent offensive line play. But speak to me a little bit about Alex Atkins, if you've had any interaction with him and talked to him, because that's obviously going to play a big role in your success at Florida State with blocking wise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my visit March 1st, he was one of the first guys to, introduce himself to me. And we were always talking through that visit. I mean, he's such a cool dude, so energetic, so young, so willing and passionate about winning. And, I know if he's talking to me a lot, he's got to be talking to his offensive line recruits a lot. And that goes a long way.
And speaking about Tribe 21, how are you and the other commits staying in touch, and what are you guys doing to build relationships with one another before you arrive in Tallahassee?
We have group chats on Instagram, Twitter, text messages, and I mean, we're always keeping in touch and just checking on each other. I mean, we're going to be spending the next 4 or 5 years with each other, hopefully 3. But we're always checking on each other, and getting some of the latest recruits and reaching out to them.
Go ahead, Nate.
I want to follow up on that. What's the general thought about Norvell? Because you have Taggart and what he was unable to do the last couple of years, and coming off Jimbo, and Jimbo's last year and a half, 2 years were really rough in terms of recruiting, evaluating, and culture building, and all that kind of stuff. And some of these recruits have been recruited by Jimbo all the way back. So is there any talk about, I guess, a feel or a difference that they see at Florida State with this new staff?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Norvell, he's a winner. And, his resume speaks that. Being at Memphis, I mean, he turned that whole program around. And, he's so driven and passionate. He's always calling me. And I know he's always calling all of his recruits. And, he lives like a champion each and every day. And you can really see it, on the field. And, like I said, in meetings and stuff. And he lives like a champion. It really speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, when there's always talk about silent commits and things of that favor, but you're obviously the big main recruiter for this class. Should FSU fans, kind of feel a little optimistic that there might be some guys out there that are silently leaning in Florida State's favor?
Yes, sir. They should definitely feel optimistic. Definitely feel optimistic.
Are we thinking playmakers? Are we thinking big boys? What
I don't know about all of that. Might have to wait on it.
I like that. We'll take it.
Yeah, you should be really optimistic, though.
Really okay. FSU should be happy.
It seems like you and Josh Burrell kind of taking the lead in that role about being like the main guys.
Yeah, he is. He's a hard worker on the field and recruiting as well. He's a great dude.
I haven't been able to ask this yet because Nate's got a question coming up. But what really just excites you about being in Tallahassee? Is it about the former players that used to be the Jameis Winston, who absolutely lit it up his redshirt freshman year? Is it Doak Campbell Stadium, the war chant? Is it Tallahassee as a vibe? Is it the coaching staff? What really just excites you about being in Tallahassee? Like, what made you just commit, wanting to run your college career here in Tallahassee?
Yeah, I mean, Tallahassee's incredible. Being in the capital of Florida, I mean, right in the heart of Florida, obviously the history speaks for itself, and the quarterbacks who have gone through there. I mean, it seemed like the perfect world for me. It really did.
Are you already starting to learn to hate the colors orange, blue, and green?
No doubt.
Okay, I had to get that in.
No doubt about it.
So, talk a little bit about the offer from Alabama. We have a Discord that we run on NoleGameday, and it's constantly asked about Alabama.
Continuous.
It's
every 24 hours, if not every 12.
It's every hour.
It's every hour, and it's really kind of being a dead horse now. But talk about that, about the Bama offer, about where you're at in your recruitment, where you're at in your commitment, and just where things stand right now.
Yeah, it's pretty humbling. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, having Nick Saban reach out to you, it's humbling. I mean, being from Mississippi and things like that, goes a long way. But, I felt like back in 2013, when a kid got a Florida State offer, they felt the same way, But, it's very cool to have. But, I committed to Florida State for the reasons that I've said in this podcast, and, about their staff and about the Tallahassee in general. I mean, it seemed like the perfect world, like I said.
talking about hopefully this upcoming season for you. What are your goals, and maybe what are some things that you want to work on, get better at? Maybe from what you learned at during the Elite 11. Maybe some things that you want to take into your upcoming season. A big year for you, obviously, your last season. What are some things you'd like to achieve, and then also work on personally for your game?
Yeah, there's a lot of fundamental things that I got to sharpen up before I get to Tallahassee, but I feel like I'll be able to do that, just perfecting a lot of things. But hopefully we'll get to play this season. Super excited. I know I'll do well. I'll light it up with my teammates, and hopefully win a state championship and show everybody what I can do. But yeah, going to the Elite 11, you seeing all these good quarterbacks, it really opened my eyes. You can't never get comfortable or complacent or satisfied. You got to keep working hard, because a lot of those guys are just as good as me. They're good players. Just let you got to keep working hard.
Nate told me you're a competitive guy, so you'd say you're one of the best, if not the best, out there, though, right?
I agree with that statement.
That's how it always should be.
Quarterbacks got to have that mentality.
That's right.
You don't want a quarterback that's okay with being average.
That's right.
Leader of the team.
Yeah, Jameis Winston back there in his days, I'm pretty sure he would have said the same exact thing. He was a pretty confident guy during his days too.
He still is.
He is. Yep.
I think even EJ, Christian Ponder, they would all say the same things.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
JJ Constantino, I can't even go there.
Nah. That's all you, Nate. Nah. You asked for that.
One thing we didn't hit on was, I want to talk about one more thing is, Dustin Payson, and your thoughts on him. At that camp that you two participated in, and both earned that invite to the All-American game.
Yeah, he's incredible. I didn't realize how muscular and big. I thought he was a little shorter than he is, but that guy's a ball player. He's big. He looks like he's a senior in college, honestly. But I never even knew he was there until I look outside one-on-ones and I asked myself, who is that guy? And I looked at his face and obviously recognized him, and he recognized me, and we talked a little bit, obviously, and about Florida State and about just kind of met each other and kind of small talked a little bit. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Is that someone you're working hard with bringing over to Tallahassee and under, for Dillingham?
Yes, sir. 100%. 100%.
I like it. I like it. There was something else I was going to ask. What about just my last one? Current weapons at FSU too. How do you feel about the stable there and using your talent with them in the future too? I know you're recruiting obviously for your class, but what about the stable that's already at FSU and what you can work with there?
Yeah, Florida State's always going to have playmakers. I know that. They've had good playmakers in the past. I haven't really dove into kind of their roster a little bit, and it's kind of what I mean. But I know one thing: they're going to have playmakers, and Coach Norvell is going to do a good job of getting those playmakers in space and getting them open, and I'll distribute the ball to them.
You got anything more, Nate?
No, I'm good, man.
Okay, perfect. Dustin, you got anything?
I think you guys nailed all the bases.
Perfect, man. Well, thank you, Luke, for coming on here with us. Definitely appreciate taking out 30 minutes of your time this evening. We definitely, maybe in the future, get you on once football season starts, get an update on your side of things. Also, if you listeners want to go read Luke's piece, he's doing the monthly journal piece at NoleGameday.com. Definitely go check that out. Some great insight, more personally, from Luke Altmyer, the future Florida State quarterback. Best of luck to you this season. Stay healthy, man. We really appreciate you coming on here, and we'll keep in touch for sure. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you guys so much. It was an honor.
And we are back after that interview with Luke Altmyer. Definitely appreciate Luke giving us his time. Definitely wish him best of luck this upcoming season in Mississippi. Dustin, how do you feel about that interview? I think he's a well-spoken young man, and I think FSU fans should be pretty happy and definitely pretty excited about some of the things he was talking about. Maybe a few guys leaning FSU's way recruiting-wise.
Yeah, very great interview. I think it's safe to say that Florida State's getting a very good football player in Luke Altmyer, but they're probably getting an even better person. Very excited to see what he does in Tallahassee when he does get here.
Seems like he's very competitive too. So I think FSU fans should be pretty excited about this cat coming to FSU this next to FSU 21. You know what? I don't know what year it is anymore. You know. Jesus, I can't get my years right. Can we actually go ahead and skip to 2021 because this year has been awful? But Austin, you have a little bit of an update here, basketball-wise. It looks like on the dock.
Yeah, not a ton to talk about. Last week we talked about Alex Chiku. Played for high school in Arizona. He reclassified to the 2020 class, and he committed to Alabama. It ended up coming down to, I think, Florida State and Bama. As soon as he reclassified, a lot of crystal balls and future casts flew in for Florida State. I was never of the belief he was that high on Florida State. I believed he was definitely interested, but I never really believed he would go to us. So when those future casts started flying in, I was like, I still don't know. I was asking around. Some people at his high school said even we don't know. So I doubt the media knows, but the media started saying Alabama, and it did end up being Alabama. They're building a pretty strong squad over there. Nate Oates is a new coach over there, and Alabama's looking pretty good. Glad to see they're using their football assets for basketball now. But yeah, that's all I have.
This last little bit here before we get into FSU trivia and bad dad jokes. 247 Sports put out their preseason ACC poll for both the Atlantic and obviously the Coastal. Coming in at number 1 for the Atlantic, Clemson, no surprise there. Number 2, Louisville. Louisville has been getting a lot of hype this offseason. At number 3 and comes FSU. The rest of the list goes Wake Forest, NC State, Syracuse, Boston College. Any thoughts from you guys on the Atlantic? Do you agree with 247 Sports that it should be Clemson, Louisville, FSU, Wake Forest there, or does anything jump out to you guys?
I don't believe the hype in Louisville, and I think NC State will be better than Wake Forest. But other than that, I don't have many disagreements.
Yeah, I think Florida State should probably definitely be number 2 instead of Louisville. Probably flip those two, have Louisville at number 3. But other than that, yeah, not a lot of disagreements. I can see why they would have Florida State down at 3. I mean, we saw it happening these last couple of years, but everyone's hoping it's going to be different under Norvell, and so far it's looking like that could be the case. We just have to see it on the field.
No, I completely understand why we're 3rd. I just don't think the gap should be as big because Louisville got 80 points and we got 69. Nice.
Damn it.
But I don't think the gap should be as wide. And like the gap from Wake Forest, who has 55 points, to NC State, who has 34, is kind of ridiculous with Wake Forest losing Jamie Newman.
Yeah, no, I agree. I understand that the FSU kind of being at 3 there. I think having I'm trying to think here. 80, 69. I do think this pandemic thing going on too, and maybe Mike Norvell not being able to, his first season in and with FSU, and you're now at a big time team or a Power 5 school like this, Tallahassee, not having a spring, and obviously things being switched up is going to change some things. But I will say though, one thing that gives Florida State an advantage here, and at least Mike Norvell, is that Norvell has worked with a good amount of these guys before too. I think that's a little bit more of an advantage than maybe what Willie Taggart had coming in. The staff around Mike Norvell, I think they already know what to expect. So whenever they were kind of arriving at Tallahassee and Florida State, they kind of already knew how things were going to be churning, and how things and how the organization was going to be. So I kind of, I think maybe some FSU fans might be a little pessimistic because this whole COVID thing going on, no spring, but I think some optimism there with how this staff has already been under Mike Norvell. A majority of them have, and they kind of understand how things work organization-wise, discipline, what things aren't going to fly. I think FSU fans shouldn't be too too crazy concerned. So just a little bit of optimism there. The Coastal goes like this. I guess, is Mac back? North Carolina comes in at number 1 for the Coastal. Virginia Tech at number 2. And then here come the Miami Hurricanes at number 3, matching Florida State, the same vote, 69.
Nice.
Good to know Austin's just going to be like that. And then Virginia, Pittsburgh, Duke. And Austin's still laughing. This is like Dustin, but just, geez.
Sober?
Yeah. Virginia, Pittsburgh, Duke, and Georgia Tech. So your top 3 are North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Miami. Any thoughts, initial reaction to that poll?
My first reaction is, why does Pittsburgh have a first place vote?
Honestly, though, I do think they are going to have a decent season, though.
Stop.
But not going to be first in the Coastal. Do you guys agree that North Carolina should be there at number 1? Tell me right now.
Yeah, I do.
I guess.
I mean, they got Sam Howell, who looked good last year.
I mean, who else are you going to put up there? The Coastal is just a mess.
They've had 7 straight years of a different winner. And like 7 different teams.
So you're saying it could be Pittsburgh?
It better not be. If Pittsburgh wins the Coastal,
what are you going to do?
Something went terribly wrong.
Yeah, that's more of what I was going for.
So should Miami be above Virginia Tech at number 2, or should Miami stay at number 3 there?
Miami should probably be... Nah, I think they're good at 3.
Ooh.
I was thinking they might be 4th, but Virginia lost a lot with Bryce Hall leaving and whatever the hell the quarterback's name was.
I think Miami could.
Eric King.
They have an argument to be up there at 2, and with the votes closer than it is for North Carolina being number 1, I don't think the margin is that big. And Miami picked up De'Aaron King. They picked up a couple other transfers like Quincy Roche from Temple, who's going to play defensive end for them. So I think they have a shot to have a decent year. I mean, as much as I hate Miami, we'll just have to see what happens.
I just feel like their ceiling's like 8-4.
Yeah, I mean, they always screw it up, but maybe they won't one time.
Yeah,
that's kind of my argument.
I feel like North Carolina's ceiling's higher than anyone else in the Coastal.
Yeah. Thing is, North Carolina they've got a pretty easy conference schedule overall, I would say. I mean, there's tough road games at Virginia and at Miami. But other than that, I mean, you get Virginia Tech at home, you get Pittsburgh at home, you get NC State at home. You got to go travel to Boston College, but I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
They sacrificed their basketball season last year for a good football season this year.
That's been the way for FSU too for the last couple seasons.
Yeah, but that's been worth it.
Oh yeah, it's been most certainly worth it. Most certainly. Yeah. Also, Miami has they're going to bring in a very talented defensive line unit. So I keep them. I'm putting them at number 2 over Virginia Tech. Bold.
Virginia Tech's got to prove it first. I mean,
yeah, they
haven't really done much. They've lost a ton of players have transferred out of the program. They haven't done great recruiting wise. I don't know how you can put them at number 2.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to rank the ACC now, what will you guys have the top 5 being? Looking at this document.
Good God, who cares? After 3, it's a mess. Or after 2, it's a mess.
After 1, it's pretty much a mess.
Yeah, after 1, it's a mess. Now that I'm thinking about it. It's Clemson and then a whole bunch of muck.
Clemson. Give me Clemson. Oh my gosh, Clemson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just don't want Louisville up there. I don't.
I put them at number 5. I'd say Clemson, UNC, Miami, FSU, Louisville, with Virginia Tech at 6. Maybe fighting Louisville for 5. Nah, Virginia Tech at 6.
I would go Clemson, North Carolina. Louisville.
Gosh.
Florida State, Virginia Tech.
Whoa.
Didn't
you just roast Louisville earlier?
I'm not.
You said you didn't believe in the hype.
Me putting them third does not mean I think they're good.
Got them over FSU, though.
And, yeah, not that high on us that season either. No off-season train, really. I mean, they're losing a lot of the summer. I mean, I think our ceiling's 8-4. I think Louisville's ceiling's about the same.
Austin's being tricky tonight. I'm going to go Clemson, North Carolina. I think Florida State beats Miami this year. And Miami. So Florida State, Miami, Louisville. That seems pretty nice, right?
Sure.
Only reason for North Carolina, honestly, for me, I mean, I know they have some momentum recruiting, blah, 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 but I'll wait until that plays into effect. I don't think that's going to be fully this year. And the only thing I'd be throwing my hat in there for is Sam Howell.
Yeah. That's more than anything else. It's more than anyone else has in the Coastal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Coastal could play in the MAC this year, and they'd still cap out at 9-3.
Yep. On to the next segment, if you guys are ready for our FSU trivia. We're still sticking with the jersey number things because I feel like y'all need a lot more learning to do, and y'all have been embarrassing yourselves, both football and basketball-wise.
3 for 3 last week.
I went 2 for 3.
You guessed all 3.
Is Austin going to turn his camera
right?
on?
No, I'm not cheating.
Okay. All right, so FSU trivia, let's do it. What number? Who's got the lead? I wrote it down.
I took it.
Austin?
I took it. It's 8-7.
Okay.
8-7 Austin. 8-7 Austin has the lead. What number did Ron King wear? He was a forward at Florida State, a legend.
I know this, so I'll let Dustin go first. At least I'm pretty sure I know it.
4, 3.
33.
11. Oh.
33 and 11. Austin's going 33. Dustin's going.
I'll go 33.
No, you won't. The correct answer is 33. Austin knows his basketball jersey numbers.
He was a basketball manager. This is his job.
It's not my job to know someone that played in the 70s or 80s. I don't know.
Dustin didn't do a lot of his history work.
He did visit practice once, though. And he airballed his first shot and then drained the second one from like 40 feet. It was pretty great.
Man, Austin just took a 9-7 lead just like that. Dustin, you got to find some better thing to say in your interview. What are your thoughts?
Give him a harder question. I mean, stop asking him basketball questions. Jeez.
He did football ones last week, and I still smoked you.
Yeah, you got lucky.
I think you did guess, didn't you?
I never guessed.
Austin did guess last week, right?
Me guessed? No, I knew all 3. Because you asked Fred Biletnikoff, and I have his jersey hanging to my right. Well, I did. It fell.
Fell?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You did Bob Sura, who we literally asked that same question to Trent Forrest. Or at least talked about
another
it.
Easy basketball question for Austin. Good job, Logan.
And then you did, I think, Ron Simmons.
Are you paying him under the table, Austin, to get all these easy-ass questions? Lucky.
No.
I just got a new Venmo from Austin. That $50 is gonna help. Appreciate it. Dustin, I suggest you starting to pay up, but you aren't working right now, so.
Yeah, I ain't got a budget for you.
All right, you ready for the end off the podcast to talk bad dad jokes? Just to end off the podcast always, just to
I've
ruin
only got
it
one.
so people know.
I've only got one this week, so let's make it a quick one.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's also it's a little bit of a movie dad joke.
Okay.
If you get the reference, I think it's pretty good. How much did it cost Hydra to kill Tony Stark's parents?
No.
$1.
Well.
I don't get it, bro.
Well, see, I didn't watch that.
Yeah,
What
I don't
is that?
get it.
Toy Story?
Yeah.
What is that?
Toy Story.
No, what is it? Avengers?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Toy Story.
My bad. I'm not like a big Marvel guy, but definitely listeners that listen probably appreciate that. We probably got some Marvel listeners. I'm not a big Marvel guy. Dustin, are you Marvel? Are you Marveling? Are you Marvel man?
Dude.
I feel like since he's had nothing better to do since like April,
Yeah.
he would have watched some of the movies.
No.
Wow.
What do you?
Stunned.
Yeah, he should be watching a good show, but he hasn't yet. What do you call a guy who never farts in public? A private tutor.
That one physically hurt me.
That's what I wanted it to do. Just squeeze it out, Austin. Dustin laughed. All right, Dustin, you go ahead. We know you're just now searching on it because you take last second to find
I
yours.
got one.
Oh, yeah?
What kind of car does a sheep like to drive?
What kind of car?
A Lamborghini.
That one's not bad.
Oh, come on. Mine wasn't?
Yours was horrible.
Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh. What washes up on really small beaches, Austin?
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Microwaves.
You're getting worse, and I didn't think you could.
Let's go. Anybody else got any more? I think I'm too good tonight. I think I'm killing it.
How do you make a waterbed more bouncy?
Jump on it. Let Dustin get on it.
All right.
I think that's what it needs to be.
The correct answer was add spring water. But
Add what water?
Spring water.
Sprain water?
Spring.
Spring.
Oh, spring, bro. You gotta say it with the G.
Spring water. You got anything, Dustin? You got anything over there? How does the ocean say hello? It waves.
Can we wrap this up, please?
I still don't know how we haven't been canceled yet.
All right, I got one real quick.
Come on, Dustin. Give us some good ones like from your back in your day.
I didn't get a haircut. I got them all cut.
Is it over?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of is it over, this podcast is officially over. That just ruined my night. I don't know.
I'm still confused.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I didn't get a haircut. I got them all cut.
No.
I
It
don't-
didn't make any more sense the second
got
time.
all your hair cut off. You're now bald. What? Jesus help me. Well, on that note, I think that's time. I think that pretty much tells us to go and cut the podcast off. What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, it's been time.
Yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys for listening. If you rate us 5 stars, leave a review. We would definitely appreciate it a lot on Apple. We really do. It would mean a lot. And I think I'm going to start shouting you guys out now starting next week for sure, because we actually have had quite a few new reviews. So shout out to you guys. We're going to give you a big time shout out to the beginning of the podcast next week. You can listen
I've
to
heard
this
that
podcast
before.
Well, this time I'm going to. I always forget at the beginning. But I promise I will not do it again. I promise. I will not forget. But we will talk to you guys next week. You can listen to this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play. Hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified every time we go live. You can follow us on Twitter at Hear the Spear. You can join us on our Discord. We have over 1,100 FSU fans in there. Breaking news, recruiting nuggets. Nate's in there. Giving you guys nuggets on recruits. Dustin in there too, along with me, Austin, basketball-wise, and Nico. But yeah, we hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's week. Stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands. And we'll talk to you during the next episode next week. See you guys.
Mama told me not to say a word. 17, 5, same color t-shirt.